put our hearts, oh Lord God, put our hearts, Lord, in an attitude of gratitude, an attitude to love beyond our ability, Lord, to love like Jesus loved when he gave himself for us, Lord God. Help us, oh Lord God, to be that person, Lord, that will love beyond color, beyond social, economical differences, beyond gifts, talents, skills, and abilities. Let us be that person that will love regardless. Father, in the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. It's Tuesday, and we're getting down to Christmas. Remember what 1 John 3:11 says, for this is the message that you heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. Yes, let's love one another the way God loved us, and he gave his son for us. Let us love in that same manner. Colossians 3:14 says, and above all these put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Let's say that again. And above all things, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. You wonder why we are not in perfect harmony with our brothers, with the different nationalities and the different colors, the different ethnic backgrounds, why we are not in harmony with them? Because we are not doing Colossians 3:14. And above all these put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. If you want to live in perfect harmony, put on love. If you want to see out of the eyes of Jesus, put on love. If you want to draw men to Jesus, put on love and lift up Jesus. Jesus said, if I be lifted up, he would draw all men unto himself. So we need to just put on love and just begin to lift up one another. 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, so now faith, hope, and love abides. These three, but the greatest of these is love, my friends. The greatest of these is love. Those are the things that we need to put on. We need to put on love, begin to love one another. You know, the Bible tells us in John there that we need to put on love, because we need to know what the greatest commandment is to love God. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. That's the greatest commandment. And the second one is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Of these two commandments hang all the law of the prophets. So let's begin to observe those two laws, to love God with all our hearts and to love our neighbor as ourselves. He didn't say love your neighbor if he's a different color or different ethnic background. He didn't say love your neighbor if he's rich or if he dresses well or he's a handsome man or a beautiful woman. He said love thy neighbor. Whoever, however they look. That's what we are supposed to do. And in doing that, we are putting on Christ. We are putting on Christ. Remember John 15:13, greater love has no man than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. Praise ye the Lord, my brothers and sisters. Let us lay down our lives for Christ.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty. And that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Hi, this is Jim Miller with WYSH Local Information News. Remember, if you see news happen, email me, jim@wysHradio.com, or message us on the WYSH Facebook page. Each day, we bring you the latest in local news. David Aldrich, Captain Accurate, has your weather forecast, and Pete Michaels is in the sky with the traffic. So we've got you covered, and if you see news happen, let us know. Your source for local information news since 1960, WYSH.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Roane, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Okay, lots going on today. I hope you're having a fantastic one, and it's a pleasure to be along here with you. First and foremost, did you guys enjoy yesterday? Did you hear yesterday? Anybody? Anyone? Anywhere? Anytime soon? Clinton statesman, Jerry Shattuck was in here with us. Man, he's just a font of knowledge, historical knowledge for our area. I'm going to get him to come back. I'm going to tell him to maybe write down some things that he thought about, he'd like to share about different places, different things, different events that he didn't share yesterday, and I will get him to come back. And also, if there are things that you have, like I had someone call me yesterday, and they said, hey, I'm a history buff too, I've got a lot of information, I'd like to talk to you. So I gave him Jerry's number. So just if there are things that maybe you want to ask about our area, curious about, if you'll tell me, I'll send him Jerry, and if he has information on him, we'll bring him back up here. I also want to get, I haven't asked him yet, so I don't know, but I also like to get Joey Smith up here. Joey knows a bunch about the area, certainly about Clinton and the history of downtown. Get that up here, get him to come and get that on the air for you too. I don't know if you like it or not. I did have a number of texts and 3 or 4 calls yesterday, people that did enjoy Jerry, and I did. So there you go. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, let us know. Also, Clinton's got a brand new football coach. Jasper's out on sales calls, or I'd drag him in here. I'll see if maybe David can call in, or BBB Brad. Young man was at Powell. I understand he was also an assistant at UT, worked with Catholic most recently. And if I understood what I was just told right, the Chargers, the NFL team, the Chargers sent a letter of recommendation for him. It's pretty cool. He's 24 years old, so I don't know. What do you guys, anybody have any thoughts, questions, and comments on that? If so, we'll talk about it. I'm excited. I don't know. The future's in the youth. We know that. We all know that. He's a young man. He's 24. If he can stay focused and he knows the game, he's a perfect age to get these young men motivated, close enough to their age to understand them, far enough away to guide them. I don't know. I'll tell you this much. I have the utmost faith in Clinton Principal Robbie Harrell. Beyond a shadow of a doubt. I've talked to Robbie a lot for me, a lot to talk to a school administrator since he was named principal. And I know he is a hands-on kind of guy, and I know that he put a lot of thought, consideration, and dedication into bringing us the right football coach. So I do. I trust his hire. Let's see what we got cooking on radio, on an Ask Your Neighbor, on this Tickle Me Tuesday. Find out what you guys are thinking out there. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH.
Well, good morning to you, Mr. I Love New York.
What's up, Brother Mike? You know what? I'll just tell you the truth. I got up this morning late. And I threw on my sweatshirt and came to work. That's the truth.
Well,
I didn't get here till like 6:45 this morning, which is late for me.
Okay. Well, they must sell tons and tons of sweatshirts, T-shirts. I know my son, gosh, he went out to visit one of his basketball teammates in high school that was playing there on Staten Island there. Mm-hmm. And he come back with, of course, he was 19, 20 years old, but he come back with a T-shirt, and I said, what are you doing with this? And, it said New York effing city.
Oh, wow.
I said, oh, God, you can't wear that out nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't see that one, but they do have a lot of merchandise, especially if you go down on Canal Street. It's everywhere.
Oh, yeah. But I did want to say I thoroughly enjoyed the show yesterday. That Jerry Shattuck there, if you'd have took calls, I was going to call in and ask him if he played football with George Washington.
He's not that far back.
But he does go back a long ways.
He goes back a bit.
Guys, he's just a plethora of knowledge about the city of Clinton.
Oh, man. The county in general, even the area in general. Like I said, if you guys come up with questions or whatever about events or areas or things, chances are better than not that he already knows about it. And I'll get him back up here. I'm definitely getting him back up here.
Oh, yeah, he could have. I could have listened to him for a couple more hours.
No, I'm gonna get him back up here, and I'm trying to save and preserve all that stuff so that I've got it, so that we've got it, and we'll always have it. And like he said, and I knew this to be true before he said it, but Joy Smith is also a huge source of local information on the history of our area. So I'm going to get Joey up here, too, if he'll come. I believe he will.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
I haven't asked him yet. Somebody's probably calling him going, hey, Ron, why don't you come on the radio? I'll ask him. I'll get a hold of him.
But gosh, I had, I don't know if you remember one of my neighbors that lives up here in my area there, that him and his, they used to talk about, his name is Slim Harmon. I don't know if you remember
Lord,
Slim.
I remember Slim Harmon. He was the mayor out there, brother.
He was there. He was.
Good Lord, yeah. Well, I knew Slim when I got here in 1990 up till he passed away. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Him and his wife, though, they told me and said, we used to drive down to Clinton. This is probably back in late 50s, early 60s there. And he said, we drive downtown there. There's always something. There's always a good fight or something to watch.
Well, there you go.
I was like, okay, then.
I don't know about that, but I guess so, you know. Never know what you're going to find when they come to the city.
Oh, yeah. But Jerry, actually, he represented me in a case there. I was coming home one evening there from up at a buddy of mine's house, and this horse there that it run through or crossed or something there, but just had one strand of electric wire, and my car hit it there and just smashed it up there pretty good, though. But he represented me in a case like that, and the officer that come up to investigate it there was a young Paul White as a deputy.
Oh, wow. Wow. How about that?
Yeah, but I hired Jerry there, and he won the case for me and everything. He was not only a good lawyer, but I know maybe a lot of people remember, and I'm sure David Quinn remember. He coached Optimus football.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, I've heard tell Jerry's coaching.
Oh, yeah. He's one of them hard-nosed coaches.
Yep, that's what I heard.
He would get after you. But, yeah, he's just a fine fella there, and I really enjoyed listening to him.
Well, thank you, brother. I'm so glad that you did. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I, thoroughly enjoyed it myself.
Well, I listened to it there, and I usually I'll be listening there, and then I'll flip over to The Price is Right every once in a while, but I couldn't get off of him. He just kept coming up with stories and stuff there.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, gosh, this stuff there that just, reminds me so much of back in the older days there. Of course, gosh, I don't know if you were around here or not back in the day, Ron, there when, of course, as a kid there, man, I just enjoyed going up and down Market Street. You had Lou Allen Millers, you had Hammers, Emery, Five and Dime there. The Hennegers had Western Auto, Piggly Wiggly. All them places are gone now. And then, of course, we ultimately end up down at the Ritz Theater.
Yep.
A good friend of mine, Gary Ladd, his dad was the one that was that took your tickets and stuff when you went into the theater. And then, of course, Hoskins was next door there. One of my good friends in high school, there was Genevieve Harper's son, Larry. Me and him, a lot of times, before we would go to junior high school, we'd meet down there at Hoskins Drugstore and get a vanilla Coke and a fried donut.
Now, that's the way to start the day, brother.
That's getting you sugared up and ready.
It is. My goodness.
But, yeah, times have changed now.
Well, I enjoy listening to Jerry. I figured folks would, and I'm glad they did.
Oh, I guarantee you, I know I did for sure there. But anyway, there I was a little. Like I say, I don't know nothing about the young men or nothing, but I thought, gosh, Clinton hired an awful young guy there to lead their football program. But
well, you know what? You're right. He is young. But I really got a lot of faith in Robbie. I really do. I think principal that we've got at Clinton High School is exactly what we need right now. So.
Oh, for sure.
And he's who made the hire. So.
Well, did they post that online there for to see other coaches? So they interviewed and stuff there. Did they go through a little vetting thing there with the...
They had applications. I know that, for sure.
Oh, okay, then. I don't know how many people responded to or whatever, but...
Well, I know I talked to Robbie a day or two before Thanksgiving because there was a rumor out. There was a guy going around telling people that he had the job. I mean, he'd been hired, boy down in Oak Ridge. Uh-huh. And so... I called Robbie and said, hey, and he was like, he said, I haven't even went through this stack of applications yet. He said, I've got to go through this. He said, I'm hoping when we get back after Thanksgiving, I can go through and start interviewing some people. So he said he used the word stack of applications. So I'm guessing that, he had
a lot of interest.
He had a lot of interest, yeah.
So did he have any other people there, like school board members or anything else helping him with this process, or did he just do it all on his own?
I have a feeling him and athletic director Reed did it, Josh Reed. But I don't know. The decision's his, as far as I know, his and the athletic directors.
Oh, okay then. Well, we'll see there. It'll be definitely a young new face there for our boys to look up to.
I'm excited about it. Again, he's young enough to identify with him, old enough to lead and guide him. As long as he stays out of trouble and everything stays good, I believe we're on the right path. I'm happy about it thus far.
Okay, well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what gives there. But anyway, I've got a grandson. Gosh, there I talked to him not before last there, and I thought, gosh, there he used to come up here and shoot BB guns and do different things while staying with me there as he was young. And I was like, how did you get to be 17 already?
I just turn around one day and it happens, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. Of course, I know you're going through it right now.
Oh, yeah, I was talking to Trey. I wanted him to come to the house for Thanksgiving. He's like, I can't, Dad. I'm driving to Maine to see my girlfriend. And I'm thinking, when did you get old enough to drive to Maine to see your girlfriend?
My gosh.
Yeah. Oh,
That's a pretty far piece.
That's a haul. So she's up there going to school, and he's down here going to school. We'll see how that works out.
Well, is this some kind of internet connection, or did he meet her around here?
No. He met her here. I don't know if it was a school activity or whatever, but they met down here in Knoxville. She was down here. I know he met her on the campus of UT when he was over there. So.
Oh, okay then. All righty. Well, what about your other little man there? Are they playing any basketball much?
They started Saturday. He played Lenore City, and he scored 4 points. We play Sevier County. No, we don't. Was it Northwestern? I don't know. We're playing in Sevier County, and I think we play Halls in Sevier County, and then we'll play. Hang on a second. Let me find the name of the other school. Hamina. It is Northview. We're Northview Senior Academy, and in Halls. We've got those two games this Saturday in Sevierville.
Oh, okay then. Well, that'll be a nice little drive for you.
Yeah, I've did that before when he played in the playoff rounds with the Hawks. We played up there at this school, so I know where it's at. But yeah, it's a little haul, and he's got to be there. Game starts 11:30. He has to be there 45 minutes early. So, yeehaw.
Yeehaw! Are they taking a bus there, or is it up to the parents to get them there?
Well, that's what I told him. I said, what time do I need to have you a bus? He said, Dad, we're freshmen. They don't give us anything. We don't get a bus. I said, okay.
It's on you, Dad.
Yeah. We need to have a conversation about that, though.
Oh, okay.
Need to find. I think if it's a school-sanctioned activity and they're scheduling stuff, they ought to take them. Don't you?
Well, that's what I always remember.
That's what I think. And if it's not a school-sanctioned activity, I don't think they ought to be doing it. But that's just me. But it is. I mean, it's the Clinton High School Dragons freshman team playing Halls and playing, whatever, Northview. I think they ought to take them on a bus just like they do everybody else.
Exactly right there. I mean, the teams together and stuff there instead of them all just straggling in there at different times there. You never know. Parents, they have work and different things going on there. Sometimes it can be a struggle to get them there.
Well, Chris has got James David doing stats for the boys' games. And I told him, I said, Chris, I already run at 100 miles an hour. He's like, if you need any help, we'll get him there and back. I mean, I'm literally 4 minutes away from the high school. You go right down Hillcrest or whatever it is, and zip, zang, bang, there I am at Mariner Point. So he said, we'll help you get him there. But it's hard, especially you got to be there 45 minutes early. So I've got to have him up there 10:45 in the morning. And you're looking at about, hour, 45-minute drive. So, yeah, and then just like last time, I'll sit there for 45 minutes. And a lot of times in the tournament play, the other games ran long. I don't guess in high school they have that kind of thing. So they'll just play their games. But, no, I'm not complaining. I'll be there anyway, but I'm sure there's some that can't.
When is the other game on the same day?
Yes, one's at 11:30, one's at 2 o'clock.
Oh boy! So you gotta get a lunch break in there somewhere.
Well, they'll play. Their games last. It won't last hardly an hour for the game, so they'll finish 12:30, and then I'll run him over somewhere, and we'll grab a McDonald's or whatever, and then be back at 1:15 in order to get him. Well, I don't know if he has to be in front of the game at 45 minutes early, but we'll get him back in time to play the second game and then get home.
Well, at least you're not going to be missing any UT football or anything this weekend.
No, we're playing, the 21st. We got a weekend to rest.
When it is, the 20th or 21st?
It's the 21st, 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay, then. And
oh, Lord, and it's already started at my house. Because,
oh, no, has it really?
Oh, gosh. Tracy is from Middletown, Ohio. That's where our new vice president's from.
J.D. Vance.
J.D. She's from the same town, J.D. In fact, they know I mean, I think I told you before, she even thinks she's kin to him. But that said, so now all of a sudden, Tracy, and I love her dearly, and she'll tell you she knows about football, but she don't. But all of a sudden, there is this rivalry, because now she knows James David, he bleeds orange. He is a super fan if there ever was a super fan. And so now, yesterday, here she started sending him these memes from Ohio State. Oh, it's on. He was sending back. They were doing it all evening yesterday evening. So it's good, clean American fun until somebody actually loses. And then it's not. I don't know. I think I'm just, after the game, I'm going out to the garage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Blame you there.
But, no,
somebody's going to be mad.
It's going to be.
They're disappointed there.
It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it there. We'll find out there. You know, gosh, that coach there at Ohio State there, you know, he's been there for a little while there, and he's got like a phenomenal record against the Big Ten, but he's lost 4 in a row to Michigan, and them Ohio State fans there, I don't care if they win a game all year as long as they beat Michigan.
That's how I used to feel about Florida, you know?
Yeah.
I was about the same way. Well, and especially after Michigan was going to plant that flag or vice versa. The other night. That was something.
Oh, yeah, that was chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper spray and everything else flying around.
I don't know that Ohio State has – what's their record against the SEC? Do we know?
The last time I remember them playing against the SEC is when they played Georgia in the semifinals there, when there was only 4 teams in the playoff, and Georgia beat them, but they gave them a heck of a game. Georgia went on to win the national championship by blowing out, who was it, Texas Christian, I believe. They gave them a good game, but normally, I don't know, the mindset about the SEC versus the Big Ten, the Big Ten is big and strong, but they're slow, and the SEC's quick.
Yes, that's the difference. All right, let's see here. I'm looking right now. Dad burn it. It's not telling. I hate when it does that. It gives you all this. I don't need all the back stuff. I just want to know the record of Ohio State versus
They've lost
SEC
2 games this year, so I guess they were what?
Well, no, I mean in all time. I don't think they've fared that well.
You're talking about against the SEC.
Yeah, I don't think that they've fared that well. It says here all-time series, but that's with Texas Aggies. They says they've beat the Texas. It's going through each SEC team that they've ever played. Let's see here. They played the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Nope, they've never played them. The Aggies, who are now here, Ohio State's beat them 4 times that they've played them. The Kentucky Wildcats, Ohio's beat them 3 times that they've played them. Missouri, Ohio State has beat them 10 times, tied once, and lost once. Vanderbilt, Ohio State has played them 4 times, won 3 of them. The Arkansas Razorbacks, Ohio State's only played them 1 time. Ohio State won. It was a Sugar Bowl. Wow, really, Sugar Bowl. All right, let's see here. LSU, they've played them 3 times. They've had 1 win, 1 tie, and 1 loss. Auburn has beat them once and tied them once. Alabama, Ohio State has lost 4 times to Alabama, beat them 1 time. Let's see here. The Volunteers. The Volunteers have only played them once and beat them. Oh, there you go. 1996 Citrus Bowl, Ohio State lost 20-14. Florida Gators have played them twice, beat them both times. Gamecocks have played them twice, beat them both times. Let's see here, and I believe that's about it. That's all I got. So I don't know. It seems like they beat the West teams, and the East teams fared pretty well outside of Kentucky. Vanderbilt.
Tell James Davis to tell Tracy there that Tennessee is 1-0, but after December 21st, they're going to be 2-0.
I'm not stirring it.
He may not get no supper, though.
You know what I told her? I said, the more you stir him, the more he'll stink. She said, I know. I said, all right. I'm just saying, when it comes down, I'm going to garage. I am not getting in this.
Oh, it'll be an interesting, Saturday evening?
Yeah, she was talking about wearing a half UT, half Ohio State shirt, and I said, well, that might cover some sin. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, it sounds like it'll be a fun evening.
It should be. It'll be, good, like I said, good, clean American fun here. I'm anxious for it. I anxious to see how all these playoffs, fare it out, how everything comes, how it comes to pass, and just at the end of the day, when we sit back and look at it, if everybody's satisfied or not, or just,
Well, from what I listened to yesterday, they were like, the number one ranked team in the country there is the Oregon Ducks.
Yep, and that's who we'll play if we win.
If we win, we got to play them. If Ohio State win, they got to play them. But you drop down to a two-loss team, the Nittany Lions there with James Franklin, Penn State there. They lost to Oregon, and they lost to Ohio State, but they've got the easier path in the playoff. They're playing SMU Mustangs, and if they win that, then they're playing Boise State.
Well, see, I think when Tennessee's clicking on cylinders, we have the same type of offense. Our offense can go toe to toe with Oregon, and our defense, I think, is better. So I think if we're clicking and we can put together a whole game, we can beat Oregon. I'm not afraid of Oregon. In fact, I'm probably a little more worried about Ohio State than I would be Oregon, because I think we can manhandle Oregon's line. I think Ohio State's a bunch of corn-fed boys that are going to, they got big boys on the line. I'm not that worried about Oregon State's line. I think our defense can handle them easily. I think it's going to be a little more difficult with Ohio State.
Well, what they were saying yesterday, Ohio State's offensive line's a little bit beat up, too.
Yeah, that'll help us. So
Our defensive line has just been stout all year. But
well, we're deep.
The only thing I'm worried about there is, and that, of course, it can change there, but they were saying it was probably going to be like 38 degrees and probably 15, 20 mile an hour winds.
That is not going to bother us. This is like Josh said. We don't live in the deep South. We live in Knoxville, and it was 14 degrees here a week ago. Thursday?
Oh yeah.
And those boys were out. They've been out practicing in it. They can handle it. They'll be all right. Ohio State might be a little bit more used to it because it's colder up there for a longer period of time, but we'll be ready to go.
I've never understood some of these players are on there, and it's quite a bit of them too. There, of course, they're tough. They're put together. They're football players there, but when it's like 15 degrees like that or something or less than that there. I don't know. Half of them don't put no sleeves on. They're out there short sleeve.
I know. You can see the steam coming off their arms. I mean, it's amazing. I thought the exact same thing, because how when your hands are cold and you hit your finger or something, it hurts like 100 times worse.
Oh gosh.
I couldn't imagine getting a stinger or hitting your elbow on a helmet or something in 14-degree temperatures.
Oh yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Carpet burn or something.
Oh Lord. I don't know, but, you're right. They do. I watch those boys jump over the piles and flip and flop, and I remember a day and time when I was doing karate and martial arts and boxing and all that stuff. I could do all that, but if I fell down right here out of this chair, I'd hurt myself right now. I don't know how they do it. They are put together.
I'd not only be hurt, I'd be wondering if I was going to be able to get up or not.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. I need my lifeline.
Oh, gosh, good deal then. But, all right, buddy, I just wanted to call in there and tell you I appreciate Mr. Jerry Shattuck there. I've looked up to him there for a number of years there, just as a Optimus football coach, a lawyer, and just an all-around good guy. His son there actually coached the Dragons there for a period of time.
I told Jerry yesterday. I said, Andy. Andy's you hear him talking about Andy's the athletic director at a school up in D.C. and I think they just won their 4th in a row state championship.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and he was talking about they're big in a lot of sports up there at that whatever school Andy's at. They've done very well. I was talking to Jerry and I said, now anything you want to talk about, again, you just let me know when it crosses your mind. If I have something, I'll call you. He said, well, there's a lot of other things I could talk about, Ron, but they'd stir up controversy. And I said, well, I'm not afraid of controversy, Jerry. He goes, yeah, but I might be. I said, well, okay. But I said,
so is he also friends with David Earl West?
I don't know how close of friends that they are. I know that Jerry wrote a biography about David that is at Aspire Park. Joe tapped Jerry to write some of these inspirational messages about people from our area.
Yeah, I heard him talking about that.
And so David was one of the people that he wrote about. So there you go. So I don't think that they're, they don't pal around, but they certainly do know and respect each other for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know because I heard him. He said something about there. You were talking about you wanted to get him back up there. And
every day.
He's like, well, I don't want to come in here instead of David now or something.
Yeah, I said if you do it, I'd bring you up every day. And he said, well, I wouldn't want to get in David's way. And I said, well, except Thursday. So,
every day except Thursday there.
But Jerry listens to David's stories, and I'm sure David heard Jerry's yesterday. So they'll probably get together and swap lies.
There you go there. If you heard anything from our former mayor, our buddy there, Wimp Shootman there, how he's doing?
I did, yes. I talked to him, and he was going to the doctor. He's been in a wheelchair. He's not been out. He's not been doing anything. And he was happy that people were asking about him. He was going to the doctor that day or the next day. And it was last week. I think I talked to him Wednesday or Thursday of last week, probably Wednesday. And he was going to the doctor, and he was hoping the doctor was going to release him to put some weight on that knee, on that leg, and put him on a walker. And he's anxious to be able to get out and get about. If you know Wimp at all, he don't sit
he's
still.
Always on the go.
Yeah, so I have a feeling this might have taken a little bit of toll on him, but he sounded resilient and ready to bounce back, and I believe he will. He always has, so I believe he'll bounce back out of this. But, man, he's hurt. I mean, he had shoulder surgery, and in the midst of healing the shoulder surgery, fell, and pushed his kneecap about 3 inches up into the top of his leg. I'd never seen nothing like it. He sent me the X-ray, and just looking at it hurt me.
Yeah.
It did. I'm not kidding. You ever seen something just makes you quiver? It's just like,
you just tell me about it.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. It's one of those things you just like, oh, geez, Louise. So, I mean, I know it had to hurt terrible.
Well, but that on top of it, they just had his shoulder operated.
Yeah, and he fell on it. So he was in a world of hurt. But he was in good spirits when he called, and he's probably listening right now. And we miss him. Wimp worked up here. I call it work. I don't know. He hung around up here and sold some advertising and sat around and shot the bull a lot. But we miss having him up here. So I'm ready to get him back out. Get him back up here, and we'll get him on the radio as soon as he's able.
Get him to talk about his experience, about how he's going to have to learn how to walk again there so he don't fall no more.
Well, this is not the first time it happened to him. You ever heard the story about him falling out of the tree in Oliver Springs? He either broke one or both of his legs. He was up in the tree doing something, but he's told me the story. I'll wait till he's here and let him tell it. But oh, yeah.
Well, Wimp, I hope you're listening, buddy. I hope you're doing well there. We miss seeing you out and about there, but you'll be out here. You're a tough old cracker there. You'll be out for long.
He's tougher than he looks.
That's it. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, Ron.
Thank you, Mike. You too, buddy.
Okay. All righty. Bye.
Bye-bye. It's Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH. It is a Tuesday version, and, we're doing what we do. Just hang out and talking. Clinton has a new football coach. David Quainer, if you're tuned in, what do you think? I'd like to get David's view on it. Because this came out of, I think this came out of nowhere. I don't think there was anybody that had this young man on their possibilities list. And he must have had one heck of an interview. We'll see. And we don't have to talk football. We can talk anything you guys want to talk about. But we will. We'll talk about it. But we'll do it in, I'll tell you what, 3 minutes. That's going to be our kind of set thing here because, like I said, Brad asked me. He said, Ron, you're telling people you're going to take 2 minutes, but it's sometimes we're a minute 48 behind, and you're wrapped up before the TV audience gets an opportunity. I said, well, okay. We'll do 30 minutes. So giving everybody an opportunity to call in. So if you'll call me, me or Jay or Jasper or somebody will put you on hold, or we'll put you on the radio. Hang on here. I won't even take a break because it's ringing. See? Let me see here what I got cooking over here. Good morning. Ask your neighbor.
Damn, Mr. Meredith.
Hey, David, I want you to tell me what you think about this football pick for a coach.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about him. I don't know who all applied. So, I know he's young. I know everybody has to start somewhere, but I've heard some other names, and I just hope everything works out good for him, and everybody can get behind him and support him. We'll just have to see, I think, but I know nothing about it.
See, I didn't either. That's why I said it came out of nowhere. Jasper knew him. Jasper's nephew played for him at Powell and said he was a great coach. He brought a recommendation from the Chargers, the NFL team. Brought a recommendation from them. Jasper said that there was a letter from that organization endorsing him. He was at UT when we had the McDonald's bags of money going on. Somebody told me that. I don't know what his role was. I guess he would have probably been an in-college assistant at that time. But he's had coaching roles or assistant coaching roles at Powell and Catholic, I understand. That's the extent that I know, top and bottom.
Like I said, I don't know too much about him, but know just that he is young. He's a young guy, and there's a lot of rumors about a lot of people that has applied. I don't know if I couldn't tell you who applied. I didn't see whether there was one application or whether there was 20 applications. I don't have any way to tell you that. There were some heavy rumors running around about a couple people that were interested in the job, really interested in the job, had some good resumes. And I'll say their resumes, if it's true, their resumes were a little bit better than what the young man we've hired. But like I say, he's young, and, I can remember being young and getting a chance to move on up the ladder, and everybody deserves a shot. And I think it'll just be one of them things where the jury will just have to be out, and we'll just have to see what kind of product he can put on the field, whether he can keep the kids in Clinton. There's a lot of rumors about that also, that some of them have done left. Maybe if that's the case, he can get them back if they are thinking about leaving or going.
I'll tell you this, Jasper told me, and I can't remember the young man's name, but the superstar player from Powell, this young man was a key in recruiting him to get him to come to Powell. So I didn't know we recruited much in high school, but that's what Jasper said.
Yeah, they do. They're trying. As a matter of fact, there's some state reps that's trying to change or force TSSAA to change some rules that would allow you to transfer and not be penalized. Because now, if you transfer and you don't move don't get me wrong. If I say it's a certain number, I'm going to be wrong, so I'm not going to say, because I really don't remember. You got to move a certain amount of miles away from where you're at to become immediately eligible.
Yep.
So, and you got to meet some other criteria. If not, you'd have to set out a year. I mean, a year. You lose a year of eligibility in everything, in all sports. So
Yikes.
They're trying to get that changed. I don't know whether they will or not.
Kind of going the way of college football. Kind of going the way of college football, making it easier.
Well, there's some NIL stuff for high school, from what they say. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know how prevalent around here it is, but there is some things. And, you know, the NIL's probably ruined college football, and we hopefully it won't get in high school and ruin it too. But, you know, NIL and the transfer portal. I mean, Tennessee's already had 5 people hit the transfer portal since the Vanderbilt game. So that's 5 less players they'll be having travel with them up to Ohio State.
Wow. Well, I know this. I know back right before Thanksgiving, there were rumors going around. Somebody was saying that they were going to be hired. I called Robbie and talked to him, and he said this. He said, Ron, I don't know where that's coming from. He said, I've not even went through this stack of applications on my desk. Plan is to come back after the holidays, start going through these and picking out people that we want to interview. So obviously it sounded like more than one if he said a stack. So I don't know how many we did or didn't have. I might ask him. I might try and reach out to him this afternoon and see how many applications we had.
Yeah, like I said, there was a lot of rumors around there, and if they're true, there were some people that had some pretty good resumes. And I'll say this, and I only know one of them for sure. What I'm fixing to say, I can't tell you the other guy. No, wait a minute. I think he did. I was sent an email or sent a text that did prove what I would be saying here. If there was a couple coaches that applied that I heard that applied, they had both won state championships at other stops. So, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know what it come down to. If it come down to money,
I think it was money.
A lot of times, what people don't understand about high school sports, it don't matter who they want. If they don't have a teaching position for them, they can't hire.
And that's where we were. We didn't have a teaching position because Mr. Hammock didn't teach, so that we didn't have that to offer along with whatever the coach stipend would be.
I would only give this year, and he's not going to call me and ask me my advice, and if he did, I would only give him, there would only be one piece of advice I'd give him. Move to Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Be involved in Clinton.
Absolutely.
Clinton. Because if he's not involved out here and he's not seen out here, you know, I can.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, you know, I remember, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to say his name or not. I probably would just go ahead and say, I told the high school coaches once, hey, take your dry cleaning up real dry cleaners and go in and see Mike Schrader.
There you go.
And let him do your dry cleaning. Yeah. I ain't asking you to move out here. I ain't asking you to leave your church over in Knoxville and come out here. Just move. Just go up there. Go to Get and Go Market, get your cup of coffee, or get you something to drink, and let people see you know that and they'll strike up a conversation with him. And I never could get him to do that.
Yeah, that does not bode well because people want to be involved.
I'm out here.
Yeah. People want to be involved with it. They want to talk to the coach. They want to ask the coach, hear from him. I agree with you 100%.
I think that's what made Coach Keith so well likable. He moved here. He was in the community here. You've seen him at all the events.
Yep.
At basketball games. You've seen him everywhere, and he was embedded in the community. And, you know, here the guy loses his job, but he's still embedded in the community. He's still here today.
Yes, sir.
He's never left today because he likes Clinton, and he'll tell you that people in Clinton have treated him really well.
Yes, sir. I agree.
I don't know if I was in his situation if I would be able to say some of those words, but
well, it's not the people didn't do this. The school board did this, and there's only a handful of them.
Somebody did it. And you know and it's evident that he's not going to get his job back. So we've moved on from that, but. We ought to try to correct a wrong with him if it can be corrected. If it can't be corrected, then maybe then when all this finally does hit the fan, whatever you want to call it, maybe then we'll be able to see what's out here and what's not. Then we can decide. But if Coach Keith was wrongly, some things have happened to him here, then they ought to be rectified. We ought to be big enough to, if we made a mistake, say we made a mistake and let's change this. And they can say what they want to about not bringing him back for the program. That's fine too. But like I said, I don't know too much about the young guy. He is really young, and I heard you make a comment. Maybe he'll be able to relate to the kids a little bit better. Maybe that's so. We'll see. he's going to have to put a coaching staff together. I assume he'll have somebody that will help him try to help him do that. So that'll be, he's being a high school coach is not being a high school coach. I mean, that coach needs to be in the hallways over to high school because that's an important figurehead.
Yep.
That needs to be in the school. He don't need to be teaching at another school. He needs to be teaching at Clinton High School. He's always
right there. Agreed with you, 100%. So hopefully, if they don't have a place, they'll find a place.
I can tell you, I have received a lot of texts and a lot of calls, and people are really skeptical. And the only thing I would say is, hey, we just have to give him a chance. I mean, it's just like anybody else. If they heard somebody that had won 2 or 3 state championships, you'd almost have to say, well, wait a minute, why are they coming to Clinton?
Yeah.
Why did they leave? What was wrong? If they had it so good there, why would they come?
True.
So there's questions on both sides that you could ask, and I'll just say, let's give him a chance, and let's see. And when I say give him a chance, you got to give him probably more than a year. You can't just give him a year and then run him out of here, but not unless it's a complete failure, and let's hope it's not.
No, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm like you. I don't have any. The closest thing I've got to him is Jasper and Jasper's nephew who played for him, and Jasper thinks he's a good guy based on what his nephew said. So I don't know. We'll hang on and see what kind of coach he ends up being. And I agree with you too. You got to be involved in this community. You need to be. You need to hear from the people, good, bad, and indifferent. Talk to them, relate to them, and be part of the community. I think that's an integral part of winning hearts and minds of both players and fans and winning football games.
Well, I will say this. There's 2 high schools in Anderson County. You got Clinton and Anderson County High. And look up the road at Anderson County High, and David Gillum has been there. David Gillum has been there, I think, 20 years or right at it, 15 years or something like that.
Yeah.
He's been there a long time, and he has a really good football program out there. And if you look, his coaching staff probably ain't changed too much over that time frame. It's the same coaches every year, same philosophy every year, same everything every year. Now, let's talk about their administration up there with the principal, Ben Downs. He's been there for a long time. And, Coach Terry's the assistant principal there and athletic director, been there a long time.
Yep.
Freeman, he's assistant principal, and there might be another one up there. But all those people have been there a long time. Look at Clinton High School. It's like a daggone revolving door.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much difference in what goes on down here and what goes on up the road. We need
stability and consistency.
Yeah, we need the principal at Clinton today to stay for a while. He needs to stay. He don't need to take a job at central office or decide he wants to go someplace else. We need somebody that really wants to be at Clinton, that wants to be the principal at Clinton High School, and let's try to get some stability over there and do the right thing.
I think Robbie's the guy for that. I've had a lot of conversations with him, James David and football and Jacob and things going on with him. I've talked to Robbie. I've talked to Robbie Harrell more than I talked to the other administrators combined in Trey's entire high school career. I've talked to Robbie more, and to me, I think he's the guy for it. I think they made the right pick on that.
Well, and I have only met him once or twice, so I really don't know him, okay? And I'm being honest. I've heard a lot of good things. I hear you say a lot of good. So if you're saying good things about him and other people are, he must be a pretty good person. And that's all I have to go on because I really don't know him that well. So maybe he is the right guy for the job, and maybe he will stay for a while, and maybe we will get some stability, and maybe they'll get things turned around.
He knows a little bit about football too.
Yeah, he does. He does have some knowledge about football. I know that, and that's probably where I know more about him than anything.
Over at the Hawks, yeah.
He coming into this year, he come into a rough situation, and and he would probably admit it's been a rough situation, but it seems to me like he's got the ship at least headed in the right direction. I mean,
me too.
What we can see. So, I think we thought before the ship was headed in the right direction, and all at once the side blowed out of it.
Well,
man, I don't know any of it.
I'll just tell you, I never was a fan of the former principal. So I'll just tell you that right now. But I wasn't against the former principal, but it was really hard to try and have a relationship. And like I said, my son, Trey, was there for 4 years, and I'm a hands-on kind of guy. I like to be involved. So I appreciate somebody that'll work with parents, and I know it's got to be taxing because there's, he's got, 1,200 kids up there.
Oh, Lord, yeah, that's a hard job within itself. So
yeah.
I just hope the young man they've hired plans on being here for a while. I hope we're not a stepping stone, that he's come out to get some experience, that there might be a job that's going to open up in the near future. That
hope he don't Lane Kiffin us.
That's one way of saying it. But, he needs to stay here a while and let's see. And, there's no doubt that Clinton can win football games because we've won football games before. So
I'm going to get Jasper, see if he can get him up here. We'll get him on the radio, introduce him to everybody, and howdy and shake, and find out what the community wants to know about him. And, just bring him out here and let him talk a little bit.
That would really be good for him to do that if they'll let him, and I'm sure they'll let him come up and do an interview. But
yeah,
he needs to. We need to find out who the people. I don't necessarily need to find out. I'll find out who he is. It's real easy, to find out who he is. But we'll find out a lot about him if kids flock to him and won't play football for him, and that'll be the first telltale sign.
He was at the basketball game last night. He got on the air with Walt last night, and Walt introduced him a little bit. It was short and sweet, but he was there supporting the Dragons against Oak Ridge last night, so that's moving in the right direction.
That's headed in the right direction. Like I said, if he'll just do some things in Clinton and get to know the people of Clinton so they know. I think people think once you meet somebody, it's like, hey, I know him. I know Ron Meredith. I met him once. He's doing a thing down there, and I got to meet him and shake his hand. Well, see, they might have only met you one time, but they feel like they know you forever.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
That's what needs to happen with him. He needs to get out and meet some people and embrace Clinton, because Clinton is a great place to live. It's a great place to raise your family. And when I say Clinton, I'll say, and let me say Anderson County too. Just the whole aspect of it. It's really a great place. I live in Clinton, and I'm impartial. I'm a Clinton boy, so I don't think there's a better place to live or raise a family than right here in Clinton. And it is still sort of small town until you drive out of your driveway on a Friday evening or a Monday evening, and you get out here and get in all this traffic, and it's not a small town anymore. A lot of traffic.
I agree. Especially on a school day. You get the plants and the schools going at the same time.
I'll tell you what, when I leave here in my house, you're not turning left to go back towards Clinton, Maine, towards Rusty Ball and Sibley.
Yep.
You're not going that way from my house.
Nope.
You're going to turn right, and I'm glad I know all the side streets and know how to go from point A to point D.
Yeah.
Not going down Main Street or something, because I do know how to do that. But there's a lot of traffic. Clinton's not a small town anymore.
No.
Clinton was a small town when I started in 1977, when I think there was about 2,300 people. It was small then. Clinton's not small anymore. This is a big, vibrant town, and that's growing leaps and bounds every day, and you know that better than anybody. You sitting up there, you say it all the time. So.
Yes, sir.
But Clinton is really on the move.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. Support this young guy. Give him the tools he needs, what we can. I'll get Jasper on getting him up here. I just heard Jasper back. I think I heard him in the office, so I'm gonna get him come in here in a minute and see what he can tell us from his nephew's perspective, and we'll go from there.
I think that's the key thing, Ron. Everybody needs to get behind this young guy and support him. And he probably knows more football than maybe 4 or 5 of us combined.
Yep.
He knows anything about football. He knows more than I do. But hey, Mike said something about Jerry Shattuck a while ago coaching football. Yes, Jerry coached football. I played for him for just a little while.
Boy, oh boy, if you did, you learned some words, didn't you?
He was hard-nosed. Now, I don't say he was hard at it. So he coached an Optimus Club like a lot of us. I was raised up in the Optimus Club, and I spent my time there and coached there too, and did a lot of things there. But I listened to Jerry talk. I've heard some of those stories and everything that he's told and before, and As a matter of fact, I heard some new things yesterday, like the McAdoo stuff.
Wasn't that cool?
Not much about the McAdoo stuff, but that was something new yesterday to learn about some background on the McAdoo thing.
Yeah, me too. I had absolutely no idea about that. You were involved. I was involved. A lot of people was right in the middle of all that when they were building the Green McAdoo Cultural Center, museum, what you want to call it, but I never heard a word about that. And that was the family from which all that, that came.
Yeah, that was some interesting stuff. And I'd heard a lot of stories about the segregation with the Clinton 12 and all that, and the bombs and things of all that, and how from just talking to different people about all that, how this town was really like a sort of like a keg of dynamite for a little while. It was pretty close, to really being more than it really was, and talked about everything that took place out here. So, for Jerry to be right in the middle of some of that stuff, that's
living history.
That's some living history right there, and somebody does need to write it down, because one day Jerry Shattuck won't be here to tell it, just like the rest of us won't be here to tell it neither.
I recorded it, and long as my computer don't die or whatever, I've got it saved in 2 or 3 different places, so we'll preserve it what we can.
But like I said, Jerry is a wealth of knowledge, and he's contributed a lot to the city of Clinton, and he served his time in, and Jerry was a figure back in the day that when Jerry was in the room, a lot of people knew he was in the room.
Yes, sir. That's a polite way to put it.
He was just as somebody being a young guy that growed up in Clinton. Had a lot of respect for Jerry Shattuck back in the day. Just as he was, you just hit Jerry's presence, the way he carried himself, the way he acted, things like that. Just makes an impression on people as they're younger than what they are. And you see that. You knew Jerry. You knew Jerry. There are a lot of people listening to Jerry back in the day, and I know 2 or 3 things he worked on that a lot of people was listening to him way back in the day, and but he's a wealth of knowledge, like I said. He
Absolutely.
Sure is. I wish every day Andy Shattuck was still here coaching Clinton football. He coached here back home, coached for a little while and done really well.
Yep.
I mean, he's back here today, but I understand where he's at today and doing what he's doing. And I'll just say congratulations to them getting another state championship.
That's something. He must be doing something right, or there's something in the water up there. I don't know.
And you got to think, when Andy came back here, Andy had been assistant coach for a while. I believe down Oak Ridge, if I'm not mistaken.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
Andy didn't have no head coaching experience.
Nope.
He just was just a Clinton boy.
Yep.
He's a Clinton guy.
Yep.
Played football here in Clinton, along with his brothers.
Yes, sir.
Along with his dad.
Yep.
A family that goes back a long ways. And when you look at Clinton football, there's a lot of families that dads and sons played football at Clinton.
Yes, sir.
And they roll back a long ways. You look at Rick Scarborough and his 2 other brothers.
Yes.
They all played football here at Clinton. You look at the Wallaces. They all played football here at Clinton. I mean, you can just name them. And I heard Jerry Shattuck tell the story yesterday about Russell Fritz.
Yeah.
Mike Hendrickson know Russell. Phenomenal. I thought he was really a great football player, a really good football player, but turned out to be even a better track person.
Yeah. See, I didn't know anything about that either. I had never heard that story.
I was over, came to the high school right after him, and he was over there and went on to UT and done great things. And, there's been just, if you look at some of the people that's played at Clinton High School that's went on to have, good college careers and NFL careers and stuff like that, you can, it's happened here. So
yes, sir.
You can win football games at Clinton, and you can go on from here and do great things. So let's get behind the young guy, and we'll see what he can do next August when they line up. I don't know who their first game is, but everybody needs to get out and get behind him.
I'm with you 100%. Like I said, I'm going to get Jasper in here in a minute, and we'll see if we can get him up here and get on the air, get the new coach up here on the radio.
That's good, buddy.
All right, thank you. All right, Dave. Bye-bye. All right. Hang on here just a minute, folks. Let me take a quick break. I'll be right back on Ask Your Neighbor. 865-457-1380, 877-711-4005. Brand new coach here in Clinton, football coach. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about anything else. Jasper, if you're in the building, come in here.
Today, it seems like all businesses are being bought up by huge corporations, even body shops. Here's Barry from H&H Body Shop.
Yeah, there's a conglomerate and that has come in and bought 3 of the major shops in the Knoxville area that were all local before. That's okay, but it's not the hometown stuff that folks around here expect and want. So spend your money with the local folks. We try to, and then you'll still get treated like your family, and what happens to you is important to us.
So do business with local hometown folks. No matter if your car needs an oil change or a complete color change. H&H Body Shop, 749 North Main Street in Clinton. Call 865-457-9735. H&H Body Shop, there since 1960, and there when you need them.
H&H has been around 56 years. We're Darla and Barry, and we appreciate you dealing with local hometown people that's been there and going to be there.
Resetting your password, unsubscribing from emails, printing, anything. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your business doesn't have to be one of them. So you can get back to the important things, like learning how the printer works. That's simple human sense. Contact Fox Insurance Group at 865-482-0513 or find us online at GRAYFOXINS.com today.
This holiday season, visit Boot Barn for top quality gifts that pay tribute to the lasting heritage of the West. From handcrafted cowboy boots and American-made felt hats to leather jackets, our in-store experts will help guide you as you shop, assisting with boot fitting and providing complimentary hat shaping. This holiday, share a piece of the American spirit. Boot Barn. Unwrap the West.
Shop limited-time deals on last-minute gifts now at Lowe's. Save $50 on a Warner 6-foot aluminum stepladder. Was $89, now just $39. Plus, get your choice of select Craftsman V20 tools for only $39. And save time and money with free shipping on orders of $45 or more. Because Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/5 through 12/11. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii.
Are you looking for a new pharmacy home? Experience the Vaughn's Pharmacy difference for yourself. Vaughn's has been providing quality service since 1966. Ask about the prescription transfer. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call or stop by, give them the prescription number, and they'll do the rest. Vaughn's offers flu or strep rapid testing with results in just minutes, diagnosis, and treatment all in one visit. Vaughn's Pharmacy. We want to be your neighborhood pharmacy. 2141 West Emory Road across from Powell High School. Call 865-947-1581.
All right.
Vaughn's Pharmacy.
Vaughn's Pharmacy. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we've been talking a little bit of Clinton Dragon football. Been talking a lot of things. Jerry Shattuck was up here yesterday. I appreciate all y'all calling about that. Jasper stepped in here. You said your nephew play. What's the young man's name? The coach?
Caught me off guard.
Josh? Is it? Lord have mercy. Anyway, you said your...
my nephew, he played for Powell his sophomore year. He coached my nephew. My nephew spoke very highly of him, said that he feels that he's going to be...
Jake Dawson.
Yeah, Coach Dawson.
Okay.
Thought he would be a great fit for Clinton. And...
What was his coaching position over at Powell when your nephew played for him?
He worked with the defensive line, so...
Okay. All right. Do we know what he did for Catholic when he was over there?
I know not. He had also served as a graduate assistant.
Now, didn't you tell me?
I think he's specialized in defense.
Okay. Didn't you tell me too that you thought it came with a letter of recommendation from the Charger?
From my understanding, I had heard through the grapevine that the Chargers, maybe it's the Chargers that had sent over a letter of recommendation from their strengthening coach. So,
there you go.
So
we'll see. I'm like David. He needs to be out in the community, but he was last night. You know, Walt had him on the radio last night. He was down supporting the Dragons at the Oak Ridge game. You reach out to him if you can, or I'll reach out to Robbie, and we'll see when we can get him up here on the radio, and we'll get all the whereas and what fors. Maybe even see, get Robbie up here and talk a little bit about it if he wants to. But it's kind of hard to say what do you think because nobody knows. We don't have a whole lot to base it on.
Right.
I kind of feel kind of the same way when we hired Heupel. You're bringing in somebody young. You're bringing in somebody that you hope that youth turns into vibrancy. With Josh Heupel, we could look at Central Florida and see what at least what he wanted to do when he got to Tennessee, and our hopes were he could do that on that next stage, and he could. We don't have that. You don't necessarily have that with Coach Dawson, in so much as him, being a head coach. But interesting to see what he's going to bring. My hope is that we have the same kind of that vigor, vibrancy. Bring a little bit of swagger to it, and let's get back to playing some good hard-nosed football. Like I said, I think he's young enough to relate to the boys, old enough to lead them, stays out of trouble, does everything the way he's supposed to do. A young coach. First time out as a head coach. I'm sure there's a lot of traps that lie in wait for you. I've never done it, but I'm sure there are. But hopefully he steers clear of all that stuff and rock and rolls. We have a good season.
I believe heard that Jason Hammock may be staying on as football operations.
Well, that's good
for the high school. So
that's good. Then that way we've got some senior leadership. It's always good when you've got that to revert back to. And like I was telling David, Robbie Harrell knows a thing or two about football.
Yes.
Yeah, he's coached some championship teams and been part of that too. So, we've got, it appears we've got enough ammunition if we just use it. We've got a wealth of knowledge. And then now we've got, don't get mad at me, we got the old guys that got the knowledge, and then we've got we put the young guy out there and he can execute it. I hope. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Anything else going on exciting out there in the community? Getting ready for Christmas, everybody? All the clients and businesses and everybody? You got any last-minute openings for anyone?
Well, I always got openings. I can always make an opening. If we have to bump somebody,
We can figure something out, right?
Right.
We've always got space. There's always space at the end here. If you guys want to light, we tell folks about your business, we're happy to do that. All right, then. I'll take this final 1-minute break. I will come back in 1 minute, 60 seconds. We'll continue our conversation, or we will wrap things up at 11:25 on Ask Your Neighbor on a Tuesday. Tickle Me Tuesday, for crying out loud. Call me.
Hey, Leslie, what's your favorite thing about the holidays? Mine is decorating and smells that are coming from the kitchen.
Oh, Linda, my favorite's spending time with my family. But whatever your holiday favorite is, we at Health Markets want to thank everyone in the East Tennessee area for letting us help them with their Medicare and health insurance needs. We're looking forward to another exciting year.
The holiday seasons is a perfect time to reflect on all our blessings and offer prayers to those less fortunate. We wish you and your families a safe and happy holiday season while making wonderful memories for those to come.
Stop by our Health Markets office at 442 North Main Street in Clinton. Walk-ins are always welcome. Happy New Year from Leslie and Linda.
Happy New Year from Linda and Leslie.
Leslie and Linda.
Linda and Leslie.
Leslie and Linda.
Linda and Leslie.
Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia, and products availability varies.
Thank you all for hanging out here with us and being with us on a Tickle Me Tuesday. I do certainly appreciate it. I hope you'll stick around here all day long. Classic hit country music. We've got some Christmas music scattered in there, sprinkled in there for your enjoyment. I've kind of had fun this Christmas. I have bought all the kids little stuff, and Tracy too, little stuff. A number of little things, kids usually ask for, I don't know. My kids got to the point that they want money all the time. And so, I'm going to give them any money. I'm not going to buy them a bunch of gifts, expensive stuff, and give them money. So, little things. But I'm kind of tickled. I'm kind of excited for Christmas to come this year, more so than I have been in a while. We had Tracy and we had a good Christmas last year, but we celebrated it. I think we had to celebrate it 2 days after, and then the year before that, we had to celebrate it 2 days before. So we're getting to celebrate Christmas Eve on Christmas Eve. all the scheduling and all that stuff has fallen in place, so that's good. She's excited. I'm excited. And Tracy loves to cook, and she's good at it. It's amazing I don't weigh 250 pounds by now. But seriously, she loves to cook, so I'm excited about that, too, because all around Christmas time, it smells like cookies and all kinds of stuff around our house. So I'm ready for that to get started. I'm excited about that. So I hope you all are excited about Christmas, the birth of Christ, and the impact. You know, I keep talking about this. I know you guys are getting tired of hearing it, and I will not expound on it a lot, but just watching the series The Chosen and thinking about that and seeing it manifest, come to, seeing it with your eyes as a TV show. I don't know, it's just a little bit different. But the impact that one, I was going to say man, and he was man of flesh, what the difference he made till to this day, thousands of years later. His teachings are still revered. It's the #1 book in the world every year, all the time, the Bible is. We've built this country on it, and look at the success that we've had. So I hope you're excited about Christmas, if for no other reason, for that. But I hope that you're planning and getting plans to be with family and friends and eating until you just waddle around and smile, because that's my plan. Waddle and smile, boys. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com.